Hi there, welcome along to another workout for you to row along to. It's week 4 and this is session 3 of the 5K plan. Now what we're going to do today is 5 4-minute intervals with 3 minutes rest in between. And you're going to do these at your 5K stroke rate and at your 5K pace. Now I'm going to row this at 28 strokes per minute, so if you're going to do this as a row along and follow me, it will be at 28 strokes per minute. Now, as being this is one of the top tier workouts, we're going to go into our 10-minute warm-up to make sure that you're fully warmed up because I don't want to risk any injury from being cold and tight, okay? So let's get straight into that 10-minute warm-up. Let's start off by setting up the machine. Go for the drag factor first. If you don't know anything about drag factor, then please check out the video on the YouTube channel. Next up, set the monitor. Set it to eye height so you don't have to look up at it and you don't have to slouch down at it. And finally, set the foot straps so that they cover either the bottom lace in your shoe, or if you're in socks like me, they let you bend, hinge, whatever you want to call it, comfortably at the front. Okay, so a 10-minute warm-up. We're going to start at 18 strokes per minute. And your pace is going to be round about 2K plus 24. I want this to be a nice, gentle first 2 minutes as you ease yourself into this one, okay? So let's get ready to go. We're going in 3, 2, 1, go. So like I said, just 18 strokes a minute. And this first minute is really just about getting moving. Maybe you're just woken up. Well, hopefully not literally just woken up and gone for a row. That'd be mad. But maybe it's you got out of bed, had a slice of toast and a coffee, and you're now doing a session. Or maybe it's lunchtime at work. You've come for a row. Maybe you just got home from work. Had a long day, either at the office or on a building site, or serving coffees, who knows. Or maybe you've just put the kids to bed and this is your time to go for a row. Either way, just make sure you're moving at this first 2 minute stage just to ease up your body, get it used to the fact you're about to do some exercise, and a top tier exercise at that. So just start to think a little bit about your body position. Is your back swinging from a 1 o'clock at the front to an 11 o'clock at the back position? Have you got nice straight arms as you pick up the flywheel at the front? Your shoulders past your hips. Right, so in 6 seconds time, we're going to go up to 20 strokes per minute, okay? So here we go, 20 strokes a minute. I'd run about 2 seconds faster than you were just rowing at. And we're going to do this for 2 minutes again. Maybe now that we're going at a slightly faster stroke rate, it's easier to concentrate on your body position and your stroke technique. Who knows? With those straight arms at the front, with a forward lean, sitting on your sit bones as you get to the front, kind of helps with that shoulders past the hips idea. Your seat slide forward enough that your shins are pointing vertically. Try not to go past vertical, and if you can't get to a vertical position, then maybe do a little bit of flexibility work, because that point here, when your shins are vertical, is when you're kind of coiled up, nice and tight like a spring, ready to explode out the front of the machine and get maximum power into the flywheel. Right, so in 5 more strokes, we're going to go back down to 18 again for 1 minute and just back off a couple of seconds again. Okay, so back down to 18. And then once this minute is up, we're going to do 30 seconds on, then 30 seconds back down at 18. And we're just going to go faster stroke rates and faster pace each time we do one of the 30 seconds. So we'll start at 22 and then we'll end up at 30 by the time we get to the end of the warm-up. So in 15 seconds we'll go up to 22 strokes a minute and run about 2k plus 16, okay? So 1 more stroke. Here we go. So 22 strokes a minute. And just let the stroke rate be what guides your pace. Hopefully as long as you're just putting in a little bit of extra leg pressure just to help with the stroke rate speed, then your pace will have increased without you thinking about it. Last stroke. Let's go down to 18 again, just to recover a little bit. It's just a little bit of a ever increasing roller coaster. Make sure to continue to row with a decent amount of pressure and stuff. The 18s don't completely go loose. Okay, 1 more stroke, then up to 24 strokes a minute and 2k plus 12. 1 stroke every 2.5 seconds for 24s. I love it. Definitely my favorite stroke rate and pace. Just feels like it's my rhythm. 1 more stroke and then back down to 18. And of course, we're up to 26 strokes a minute next, and your pace will be 2k plus 9. So just let your stroke rate take you up there. A little bit of an extra push from the legs. 1 more stroke. Here we go. 26. 2k plus 9. Bit of an extra push from the legs. Just takes you through it. In order to get the stroke rate up, you need to increase your drive speed with more power from your legs anyway. So it should all make sense. 1 more stroke. Well done. Back to 18. Notice how I'm not talking about pulling harder on the handle. I'm just talking about the leg drive. Your arms mostly take care of themselves as a result of your faster stroke rate. 2 more strokes, then we're up to 28 strokes a minute. Here we go, 2k plus 5 this time. Good solid leg drive. Push the machine away. Get the stroke rate up. And just notice your pace increasing. 2 more strokes. 1 more. There we go. Back down to 18 again. And then Our last 30-second spurt at pace will be at 30 strokes a minute, and your pace will be around about 2k. If you have to go 2k plus 1, then go on, but one more stroke. Here we go. One stroke every 2 seconds. Let that leg drive get you back. And your recovery gets you to the front of the machine again. All nice and fluid. Each part of the stroke leads into the next. 2 more strokes, 1 more. Well done. So back to 18, just to paddle home. Flush out any kind of acids and burn that might be just circulating through your body after a good warm up. This gives your body a chance to just settle in. Here we go, last stroke. Now if you missed doing the straight arm drills and the single leg drills, maybe at the end of the main session when we're doing cool downs, maybe when I'm doing my long chat, you could do them while we're at the end, okay? Because they are useful for your rowing. But in the meantime, continue moving up and down the rail, have a quick drink, and I'll just quickly go over again what it is we're doing today. Okay then, so today's session is 5 times 4-minute intervals with 3 minutes rest in between. Stroke rate wise, you're doing this at your 5k rate, which for me is 28 strokes per minute. So if you're doing this as a row along, following me for stroke rate, then that will be your rate. Pace is your 5k pace, which for most works out around about 2k plus 5. Okay, so it's really going to be up there, but the 3-minute rests in between will let you settle down ready for the next one. Okay, so we might as well just get into it. I can talk to you more in the rest periods and during the intervals themselves, so there's no point me waffling on here. So like I say, 5k stroke rate, 5k pace. Okay, we want to get up there pretty much as quickly as possible. Follow me is for stroke rate if you're going to be doing it at 28, otherwise do whatever rate you wish. Okay, here we go then. In 3, 2, 1, go. This is the longer, or the longest 5k race, sorry, rate and pace. Combine both words there. That we've done in the whole plan so far. So 4 minutes at your 5k training pace and at your stroke rate, which I'm currently 28, 29 for stroke rate, so just trying to calm down a bit. And my pace used to be 150. Still 1 click too high for stroke rate, but that's it. That's a minute gone. So start having more concentrated thought on your technique. Remember your backswing, rocking back and forth through your hips from a 1 o'clock at the front to an 11 o'clock at the back. And try, as you start the drive, by pushing away with your feet, to hold that forward lean. 2 minutes gone. If you can make sure you've got forward lean at the point of contact with your feet, you should feel the power effortlessly going into the handle. If you feel your back is straining against it, chances are you're leaning back too soon. Same with your arms. If you feel your arms are fighting against the power from your legs, then that's because you're bending your elbows too soon and your forearms, biceps and shoulders are soaking up that pace as they fight against it, rather than letting it flow into the machine. Here we go, 15 seconds. Keep the pace up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 3 minutes rest. Have a drink. I'll remember that this time. Now, this is kind of like the equivalent of doing 5 1K efforts with 3 minutes rest in between. Kinda. Give or take a bit depending on what your actual 5K pace is, but it's a good average. So when you look at this row, we're doing 5K pace for 5K if you think of it as 1K each time, which with 3 minutes rest in between doesn't make much sense, because you're like, well, on the day I'll do a 5K training, or sorry, 5K event, I'll go as fast as I can without rest. So why am I training right now at the pace I'll be doing with rest? How does that help? 2 ways. One, remember this is a session that is working within other sessions, okay? So you've had a bottom tier in session 2, you'll have another one in session 4, and you've had 2 mid-tier ones as well that have been tough. So within a week, don't want to push yourself to a point of absolute exhaustion where you then can't continue with the plan for the rest of the week, which if you do a 5K test properly, you'll need a day off the next day. But the other thing is that we're rowing at our 5K training pace, which isn't necessarily the pace that you row your 5K at. So for instance, my PB was just over 17:30. Let's say 17:30, because that works out as a nice even 1:45 split if you divide it up into its 10 500 meter splits. However, did most of the row, like the first 4K of it, was at 1:47, so 2 seconds slower. And then it was that last 1K was when I absolutely beasted it to, I really got a lot faster on my splits so that I could then duck under to get down to that 1:45. So I would have been, what, 17:50 had I just maintained rather than 17:30. So the fact that you're rowing at your average means the pace you're rowing at right now is probably going to be faster than you'll be doing your 5K at. But by the time you involve a sprint at the end, it all makes perfect sense, okay? Hope that made sense. Right, so if you're on undefined rests, press your button now to get ready for the next interval, because we're going in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. So same again. 5K stroke rate and 5K pace. And after what I just said, it should make sense that we're intending to hold this at least for the first 4 intervals and maybe 2 minutes into the 5th. If you want to increase your pace for the last 2 minutes of the 5th interval, then you can. But because you're rowing harder in these 4 minutes than you would during the main meat of your 5K, it might be that you can't manage it. Just see how you feel. This is all about trying to make you faster after all. So I'm not going to hold you back. But I don't want you to overcook it now and not be able to finish the session at the right pace. Okay, closing in on halfway. Keep your focus. 2 minutes to go. Keep a primed, strong posture, ready for that leg drive at the front of the machine, and also ready at the back of the stroke with a braced core, so that you can start the recovery nice and quick to get to the front of the machine ready for the next stroke. The recovery speed is just as important as your drive speed. So get that handle away from you smoothly but quickly. Let it get over your knees while your hip rock sends you forwards, and then bend your knees to slide to the front of the machine. All right, 20 seconds to go. Stay strong. We're almost there. Hold your pace. 4, 3, 2, 1. Whew. I finished a tiny bit slower that time. So there you go, that one should feel a bit more hard work than the first one, I hope, as we get through this. So remember, this is a top tier session, so it's going to take you up, and then you're working hard at your kind of, especially for 5K, at your top point where, as the intervals are laid out, you don't want to go any harder or faster. Yes, you could go harder and faster at any point if you wanted to, but you're unlikely to finish the interval at that pace, and you're unlikely to be able to continue the entire session at that pace, and it might even destroy you from being able to kind of complete any of it. So be like if you did this next one thinking it's only 4 minutes, I'll just do it at 1k pace, and you suddenly do it at like 2k minus 5 or 5k minus 10. Fair enough, you'll probably get through the 4 minutes, but chances are you're not going to be back up off the floor again yet to do intervals 4 and 5. Or if you did get back on for intervals 4 and 5, the chances of you being able to hold 5k pace after doing a 1k pace right in the middle are slim. Save that for the end. Hell, if you get into the beginning of interval 5 and think, I don't know why he's so out of breath and sweaty, I'm just going to go for this, then go for it. Because to be honest, the last 1k of a 5k is where you just put everything into the machine. You don't want to leave anything available for you. So whatever your maximum input is what you should be putting in for the 5k. Now for me, that means I'm lying on the floor, I'm rolling around like a flapping salmon because I put everything into it. Other people don't have that. They don't take themselves that far, but it's still, wherever they take themselves is still their max. So don't judge your max by my max. Whatever you set as your maximum desire to put into the machine, that's it. Just make sure you always hit that. If you can get past it, fine, but make sure you always get that when you're doing a 5k test or a 2k test. Okay, so if you're on undefined rests, press your button. Get ready for the next interval. Same again. We're going in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. So 4 minutes again, 5k stroke rate, 5k pace. So I'm still trying to hold 150 for my pace. I know. My PB maybe 17:30, but that was a couple of years ago before a series of injuries and stuff. But hey, this isn't about me, this is about you. So make sure that you're rowing strong, that you're at your stroke rates, you're holding your pace, and you're confident that you're still able to keep going for the next 3 minutes of this interval and 2 more. It's hard work, but it's not meant to be easy. A 5k test is not easy. So there's no point me programming a whole bunch of soft sessions just to make you feel happy. You chose power. You chose to get fitter, faster, and stronger. So embrace that and see this through. Halfway there. You'll feel great every time you push through and succeed. You'll get that little dopamine hit that says you've done well. And even if you can't hold pace to the end, completion is still good enough as long as you always start each interval with the right intentions. So always start at 5k pace and 5k rate for these intervals, and try to maintain. Don't let the brain win. You know what your body's capable of. You've trained it. You know what you're doing. So take over and finish in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good job. I have closed my exercise ring. I should hope so. Although, what's that? 12 minutes plus 10 warm up is 22 minutes. And my exercise ring is set to 30 minutes. So all that says is it's 3:45 in the afternoon right now. And outside of this, I only moved for 8 minutes. Ooh. It's the dangers of being stuck at home, really. Not out nearly as much. But hey. Okay, so heart rate wise, I finished that one at 84%, which I think from memory is about 162. And as we get in, under 2 minutes to go in this rest, that's me down at 110 already, just in case you're following along with my heart rate, so you know I have a heart. Oh. Now hopefully you'll agree that 3-minute rest in between these makes perfect sense now, because you get down to that point where you've recovered enough to hit the next 4 without it being deadly. Even if it was only 30 seconds shorter, if it was like 2.5, you'd really feel it. And if that was the case, I'd only made this 4 times 4 rather than 5 times 4. But it's important you get the full equivalent to what 5k amount of rowing, plus or minus a few minutes, of course, feels like. Just so you've got it in your legs. I mean, we're at week 4, so we should all be getting better at this. Remember to drink. Don't let dehydration or a dry throat or dry lips defeat you. It's bad enough when that happens when you're at an indoor rowing championship and you're suddenly lose all moisture in your mouth because it's so dry. Crash bees were bad for that. Bricks bad for that. English champs at Manchester, not as bad. Scottish champs, all depends on the weather outside. If it's cool outside, it's fine. If it's warm outside, there's just no air in the room. Anyway, press your button if you're on undefined rests to get ready for interval 4. My heart rate's at 80 and we're going in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Same again, just hold your 5k stroke rate and your 5k pace. I want you to be sensible about this one, as though this was the 3,000 to 4,000 meter point of your 5k. Or you're just cruising in, getting ready for a strong finish, but knowing that if you overcook it now, you won't have that fast finish in you, so you have to be sensible. Right, so we're 1 minute in. Let's not forget about our technique now, folks. Quick refresher. Your nice, powerful posture and your back. Body rocking from 1 o'clock at the front to 11 at the back. Braced core as you drive and as you finish. Arms away to start the recovery. Knees only bend once the handle has crossed them. Make sure keep straight arms at the front as you slam your heels into the foot plate and push the machine away, and feel the surge of power go through your legs, through your back, into your straight arms, and into the handle. And only when your legs are halfway finished do you swing your back into that 11 o'clock position, and only when your back has swung do you finally bend your elbows to pull the handle in powerfully to your chest. Squeeze those shoulder blades together. Send your elbows through your sides and finish with the handle at sternum height. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, that was a tough one to talk through. 162 finish for heart rate. 85% again, so wasn't up at max, but probably comfortable to say I'm well within the anaerobic threshold. I could keep that going for longer, but I was definitely increasing in effort as time went on just then, so good to just reset back down so that we can do that rise back up again. Kind of makes this kind of a high intensity interval workout because of the duration of them. It's not really, but you've got that up and down work, recovery, which is fantastic for your heart. It's great for calorie burn as well, to be honest. And if you're mixing this in amongst other sessions like the slower 30 minutes at 20 strokes per minute, and then like the mid-interval ones, because your heart and your body doesn't get used to just training that pace and you're mixing it up, your body's always kind of having to react and burn fat here and energy there and build muscle there and stuff, so it never really gets the chance to plateau. Which is why it's not just the same thing week in, week out, because if it's just the same 5 things and then the next week you do the same 5 things and the next week you do you can tend to plateau because your body will get used to that. So you vary the intensity, even though it's based around the same pyramid, you vary what you're doing. Which is why the strength workout, the 20 strokes per minute at flat out in week 3, session 3. That's why that was so important, because we hadn't done any of that. And so by doing one of them, your body then goes, what? Oh, I'm having to use muscles now as well. Oh. So, I try and help. I try and give you advice about this stuff. Who knows if anyone's listening? I know next door seems to be sawing a piece of wood. Either that or he's punching a baboon. Anyway, I think I made that joke before. 15 seconds to go, press the button. If you're on undefined rest for the final interval, which starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. So this is the last 1,000 meters of your 5K. So hopefully you know what you've got left in you in terms of pouring out more power. I'm not gonna sprint or go hard until about 30 seconds to go, but you choose your point. Hold the same stroke rate, but increase the power from your legs if you want to go faster. It's much more beneficial on this interval workout to use power to go faster rather than stroke rate, because you'll always be able to increase your stroke rate, but you have to develop power. So use power whenever you decide is your increase point. But don't worry if you're just trying to hold on to your 5K rate and pace, just over halfway. Keep it up, come on. You can only give what you've got. And as long as you're not making excuses when you could go faster, then it's fine by me. Always look at what you're doing, not where you're going. Do not fake yourself out. Tell yourself you can do it. Only 28 strokes to go. Can you increase? You might feel the burn, but it'll be over soon. Keep it going. Power. Get it from your legs. Here we go. Follow with a strong finish with your arms. Feel that fireball build and release. See it burning in front of you. Blue fire, come on. 2, one more. Oh. Good job. My heart rate finished at 165. So I still had 13 beats in the tank. So I should have gone with a minute to go. But it's hard to talk and do that, so I'd say for you I backed off, but there was no backing off there. Right, 2-minute cool down. Let's go in 3, 2, 1, go. Just about 18 strokes a minute. Aim for run about 2k plus 30 pace. Enough to engage your legs. It ensures you still need to row with a reasonable stroke. You can't just flap up and down the rail without engaging muscles. Lets everything ease down to a closer to normality rather than drop down like a rock in a pool. Yep, plummet. Have I ever done hashtag plummet? Don't think I will. It doesn't sound very good, but anyway. So that's session 3, top tier out the way. Certainly felt like a top tier for me. I hope it did for you. Sorry, I'm going blank trying to think of what today's hashtag should be. Can't really think what the commonality of today's chat was. Let's just be a bit marketing and say 5k all the way. So hashtag 5k all the way. If you made it this far and you comment and you want to let me know that you made it this far through my chat. But then we are in the cool down, so I'd be disappointed if you didn't make it this far. Now remember, either keep on cooling down or maybe just do the legs only, arms only, single leg drills while I just close this off. Thanks again for being part of the 5k plan. I've got one more week after this one. I think I will stop at the end of week 5 because it could go on forever otherwise, and there's no point in that. Get to the end of week 5, maybe consider doing a test a couple of days later and then decide whether you want to go back into the 5k or the 2k, or I think what I'm going to do after the 5k is a couple of standalone 60-minute workouts just to try and build up the 60s that we've got in the bank. And then I want to do a little bit about 500 meter training, which probably a bit late in the season to do, but I kind of want to have a 500 meter thing there. It's not particularly a plan. Well, it might be, but that's next. So then we'd have a 2k, a 5k and a 500 meter up here. And anything on top of that, I think, kind of takes care of itself. I don't really want to do a 10k or anything, unless there's enough call for it. But anyway, I seem to be talking to just chundering. This is like an internal thought process I should be having, not a YouTube video to all you guys. So I'm going to say goodbye. So I'm off to cook my Sunday dinner. Nice, lots of veggies and stuff. And you guys make sure and eat, recover, drink, all that stuff. And remember, don't push the slow stuff, push the fast stuff. Bye-bye.